Hello, I'm Julia, and I'm going to talk about China's missing girls. What is this? In China, every day girls are abandoned, aborted, or killed at birth, simply because they are girls. This is an unintended and unwanted consequence of China's one-child policy. This policy was originally intended to decrease China's booming population, and in some ways has worked. However, this policy failed to consider the traditional Chinese view that boys are preferred over girls. In the rural areas especially, boys are needed to work farms, and boys also take on the family name in a way that girls don't. Boys do not go off and get married and leave the family, where girls do, and boys instead take a woman into the house. Boys also will take care of their parents in old age, whereas girls are off taking care of their husband's parents. It's simply a preference because of necessity. Because of this preference, it is socially understood that boys are preferred over girls. In the past, this meant you have children until you have a boy. Now, because of the one-child policy, this means that women, if they have a baby girl, are expected to kill or abandon it and hope that somebody finds it. This has caused another unexpected consequence. There simply aren't enough girls anymore. Because of the preference of boys, 1 in 7 girls are expected to be aborted or abandoned. This may not seem like a big issue at first, but in the future it will be. It has been shown that single men are more likely to be involved in reckless or violent behavior because they do not have a wife or children to worry about at home like married men do. There's also been a rise in human trafficking. As men are increasingly unable to find wives, especially in the rural areas where sons are a necessity, they instead began to rely on kidnapping and the buying and selling of women who are able to bear children. This is a big issue and is only going to get bigger as today's children grow. So what about the girls that are abandoned? They go into orphanages, of course, but domestic adoption is not as prevalent because of the preference for boys over girls. Instead, international adoption is very much relied on. In America, a majority of the internationally adopted children come from China. This is partially because we do not have a gender preference and are willing to give homes to unwanted girls. This is a wonderful opportunity for young girls who have not had a mother or father before and may get a brother or sister that they would not be able to have in China. However, it's also one less girl in China. The children who are adopted internationally are much less likely to come back to China and get married there because China is no longer their home. This adds to the issue of there not being enough girls. But those girls are the lucky ones. There are still many girls who cannot be adopted. They either grow up never having had a family or they die in the orphanage. There is an overpopulation of children in orphanages now because only one child is allowed per family. This means neglect because there isn't enough care. There isn't enough care to go around for these children. In some cases, this means that if a child falls sick, they will be put in another room and left there to die. Left there to die. This seems inhuman and unheard of, but in an overcrowded orphanage where there's already not enough care, it simply seems logical to focus your attention on the well ones who might survive. Overall, China's missing girls issue is a very big and very relevant one. This is a simple denial of human rights to these girls. It takes away their right to live and their right for equal opportunity and their right for equal treatment as their male counterparts. The booming population is something that needs to be addressed and has been addressed well by the one-child policy. However, a culture's generations of tradition cannot and will not be changed overnight. This big picture issue is something that needs to be addressed and needs to be fixed soon, but until then all we can do is care for the girls who have been abandoned because of it.